Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at how Stoicism can improve our lives, so let's get started. What is Stoicism? Stoicism is a philosophy which was founded in Greece over 2,000 years ago. The very fact that Stoicism is still discussed today is testament to how its teachings are still relevant in the modern world. The three most influential Stoic philosophers are: number 1, Marcus Aurelius, who was the emperor of Rome for nearly 2 decades. Number 2, Seneca, the renowned playwright and political advisor. And number 3, Epictetus, who was born into slavery but became a free man, set up his own school to teach philosophy, and is widely considered one of the greatest minds of his time. What's interesting about these three philosophers? Well, separating these three men is a vast difference in power, wealth and status. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful men in the world. Seneca was one of the richest men in the Roman Empire, yet Epictetus had no wealth and no power, as he was born a slave. But incredibly, all three of them had a shared interest in Stoic philosophy and found wisdom in its teachings. So let's find out why, shall we? Lesson number 1, don't worry about the things you cannot control. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? Epictetus. Why would Epictetus want us to ask whether something is in our control? The reason is that if our actions can't influence the outcome of a situation, then what's the use in worrying about it? For example, let's say you're stuck in traffic, which is never much fun, and perhaps to make matters worse, you're also in a rush to get to an important event which makes your predicament even more frustrating. But is this a situation inside or outside of your control? Unless you're causing the traffic jam, the situation is definitely outside of your control, so you have two choices. Choice number 1, you sit in your car, angry about the traffic, angry about your time being wasted, and angry that you're now running late. Or choice number 2, you stoically accept that getting worked up about the situation won't get you to your destination any faster, so you're best off remaining calm and trying to make the best out of the situation, perhaps by putting on your favourite music, podcast or audiobook, so you're at least being entertained or being productive. And trust me, I know that it's not easy to simply turn yourself into a Zen monk whenever an aggravating problem pokes its head up in your life, but it's definitely worth practicing this technique because any energy spent on trying to change a situation which you cannot change is by definition a waste of energy. Have you ever heard of the Serenity Prayer? The prayer is universally attributed to Dr. Reinhold Niebuhr, and there is a strong chance that you'll recognise the shortened, abridged version of the prayer as it's gained popularity and is even incorporated into the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. The prayer goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Again, this idea speaks to the Stoic philosophy of number 1, recognizing what you can't control, number 2, not worrying about the things you can't control, and number 3, only investing your energy into things that you can actually control. Here's another banging quote from Epictetus: the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. These Stoics are pretty smart, eh? So let's explore another lesson. Lesson number 2, live in the present moment. Let's kick things off with a quote from Seneca: true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. This knowledge bomb that Seneca's just dropped on us, the notion of being present and living the moment, is something that we intuitively understand that we need to do, but often we forget. This is why phrases like "stop and smell the roses" exist. They are a reminder that in the grand scheme of things, life is short. So it's important that we enjoy the wonderful aspects of life while they unfold before our eyes. Personally, I don't think I spend too much time living in the past, but I definitely can spend too much time worrying about the future. Perhaps I'm having a meal with my family or I'm hanging out with my friends, but I'm not fully present because I'm anxious about a future event which often might not even end up happening. This of course isn't an optimal way for me to live my life because, let's face it, there is nothing more fun than spending time with the people that you love. And if I'm not 100% focusing my attention on the people that I love, then I'm messing up big time. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Seneca. From this quote, it's not too hard to tell that Seneca was a playwright. These words sum up how us human beings have a tendency to do everything but live in the present moment. One way that I try to combat this is to meditate every day. At the moment, I'm using the Calm app, which has loads of great guided meditations which help you to literally practice living in the here and now by focusing your attention on sensations such as your breath. As you meditate, your mind will either get lost in the past or it will go thinking about the future, but eventually you realise that your mind has wandered off and you bring your attention back to your breath. This is essentially doing a bicep curl for your mind. You are strengthening the muscle which enables you to be more present in your everyday life. So, let's be like the Stoics and try to live in the present moment, because as Eckhart Tolle reminds us, the present moment is all you ever have. There is never a time when your life is not this moment. Lesson 3. Your mind is a lens. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Everything in life, absolutely everything, is filtered through the lens of your mind. This is one of the most powerful teachings of Stoic philosophy that has impacted my life. So let me throw another Marcus Aurelius quote at you. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. You can experience the exact same negative event more than once in your life and have completely polar opposite reactions. For example, let's say you're at a nice restaurant but you end up waiting ages for your meal because the chef was unwell that day and the kitchen staff are struggling to keep up with the orders. If you're not in the best headspace, perhaps you're stressed from work or you've had an argument with a close friend, then your food being late could ruin your evening or even your whole day. But the strange thing is, you could experience this exact same situation next week with a better headspace and it wouldn't annoy you in the slightest. Perhaps you've just been told that you're getting a promotion at work, or you're about to go on a sick holiday with your friends, so you don't care that your food is going to be late, because if you look at the bigger picture, life is all good. I know that you can't always have a banging holiday with the boys lined up to help you overcome life's annoying situations. But this point does go to show that it's not what happens to us that's important, it's our perception that truly counts. This is why it's good to think of your mind as a lens. A lens normally filters light, and so if the lens is dirty, it affects the quality of the light coming through. And in the same way, if your mind isn't in a good place, it affects how you view everything in your life. Have you ever wondered, why aren't rich people always happy? It's because this phenomenon works both ways. You can be on the most beautiful island in the world, with more money in your pocket than you can physically spend, but if the lens of your mind is grubby, you won't be able to appreciate what's right in front of you. You might even be having a rubbish time. Perhaps you're on your phone, lying in the sun, but you're midway through sending a text and your phone dies on you. In that very moment, you could be less happy than a homeless person who has just received a small amount of food from a kind passerby. This is what's so incredible about this Stoic teaching, is that you can change the quality of your whole life, not by becoming rich, not by becoming powerful, not by becoming famous, but simply by changing the way that you view the world around you. To make it a hat trick, here is a third quote from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. As Marcus rightly says, when it comes to your mind, you are in the driving seat. So keep that lens squeaky clean and the whole world will look that much better. And that's all from me, guys. If you'd like to support the channel, please smash the like button, drop me a comment below, let me know what your favourite Stoic lesson was, and of course hit subscribe. I've thrown loads of useful links into the description box below, such as links to great books on Stoicism that I've enjoyed, so check those out if you're interested. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.